Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Chronicle of Innsmouth, Mountains of Madness. In the last episode on our search for our lost comrades, we discovered this ancient abandoned city, no doubt built by the Elder Things only God knows how many millions of years ago. Unfortunately, Blanko didn't make it, and Akeley is recuperating, not really able to assist us. But we are not alone here. The purple cultists, who by the way are called the Dissidents, as Man-Devil, the Italian-English translator of the game, told me in the comment section and explained the story to me some more. The keepers, like this fellow behind bars here, are the good guys fighting the Dissidents, trying to prevent them from using the key. And apparently via alchemy, the keepers discovered a way to make copies or clones of their members so they can keep fighting the Dissidents. But right now, as you can see, we have disguised ourselves as a cultist after knocking one of them down. I'm actually surprised how well Lone is hiding his tentacle arm under those ropes. Now I guess we are about to infiltrate the ranks of the Dissidents and learn what their evil plans are. So without further ado, let's continue with the rest of the game. And so we have talked to Falco already, so no point to do it again. Or actually, let's...
Incredible. He's absolutely identical to Aquila.
So that was his other copy's name in Arkham. Or actually, I don't know which one of them is the real one and which one is the copy or clone. But
I got nothing to ask him about.
Yeah, okay, so we got nothing to ask him about. Good to know. Okay, so let's go outside. Alright, so I would feel a lot safer if we had one of those freaking sci-fi plasma rifles that these guys have. Okay, so we are on this side now. Akeley and the rest, or what's left of them anyway, are on the other side here. Can we actually go and talk to them?
Better not.
Okay, let's not go and risk it. Oh, by the way, it just occurred to me. How come Lone died those times in the last episode whenever we run into the cultists? I mean, isn't he supposed to be immortal? Like, I don't know, Deadpool. Well, I guess he's not invincible. So those plasma rifles can do some real damage to him. Oh, grandiose structure. Okay, I'm just making sure. Are there any other buildings or rooms or anywhere else where we can go? Doesn't seem to be the case, no. Okay, let's go. Okay, well, nothing else here besides the entrance, so let's go then. Oh, hello. Don't mind me.
Hey, you! What are you doing, slave?
Oh, we are a slave. I'm trying to reach the others. I've been waiting for you. That is none of your business. Been waiting for you?
I've been waiting for you.
No need for that kind of pleasantry here. You must be new.
I've only been here for a few days.
Very well, let's go. The prophet is about to arrive.
Well, okay.
Katlan, Gu, Erd Toklana. Kazna Kurd. Koi Tanakal. Koi Toklu. Katlan, Gu, Erd Toklana. Kazna Kurd. Koi Tanakal. Koi Toklu. The time is almost upon us. Wayfarer of the plan, bless us. We invoke thee. Bring death to the keepers. Begin your reign of madness.
Oh my. Is that Al-Hasret?
Master, everything has been prepared. Unfortunately, we have not captured the hybrid. We are confident that we will be able to subdue the creature anyway, with your help. Certainly, Master.
And is that the Necronomicon he's carrying? That must be Lone.
Stop! It seems that the stars are in alignment. Master, and apparently the final ingredient was delivered directly to our front doorstep. Bring him here!
Oh shit.
Once we've brought the Alpha Shoggoth under our control, nothing can stop us. Quick!
Alpha Shoggoth, you say?
Master! You do the honors.
Shoggoth.
Holy shit.
It's working! Master, our time has finally come! Master! Ya, Cthulhu Vantagna!
I don't know if you can control that.
Ya, Cthulhu Vantagna! Ya, Cthulhu Vantagna! What's happening? It's not working! Master, get to safety!
Yeah, I didn't think so. Didn't think that they could control it.
Huh?
Oh hey, Akeley.
Lone. I have to go back.
Ah!
Oh my.
Mother.
Oh my god, Lone! Lone!
Okay. What happened? Is Lone alright?
He seems to be breathing again, but his arm. The important thing is that he's still alive.
Well, okay, at least he's alive.
Lone could finally manage the creature within him. There were no traces of the Dissidents, nor of the horrid creature that protected the immense city on the edge of the imaginable. Alone in that unknown and desolate wilderness, Lone and Akeley had fuzzy memories of how they managed to get back to Arkham. Both agreed on the fact that it was the imprisoned Keeper who made it happen, Falco, but they couldn't be sure. Akeley went back to his experiments in Vermont. Lone met with Armitage several times before the Keepers contacted him again. Now, he was one of them. They had thwarted a plan of the Dissidents, but they hadn't defeated them. Surely their idolized deities would again find a way to breach the human soul evoked by that fearsome creature that must once have been a man. Lone made his decision. He would protect the world and avenge William. The battle had just begun, and he was ready to face them.
Oh, and we are... and now we are back in Innsmouth here. This must be from the ending of the last game, just a Chronicle of Innsmouth. But okay, so Lovecraft was not writing the Necronomicon through Al-Hasret via his vision, as I originally thought. He was writing this story here. Okay. Now this is some badass music right here. Not necessarily the kind of music I would choose for a Cthulhu Lovecraftian game, but hey, who cares if the music is great, right? But yeah, I'm gonna come back to you after the credits here. So be right back.
You pierce my soul. I'm chased now, not myself, haunted without a goal. No soul screaming at the black sky in vain. You read me through sins, staining like a wine. You will not dance me with your enabled throw. Shame me steadily with your cruel for more. Time and instant spray, faster than my field begins to say. While the kind
We need you.
We are back here.
Armitage. When I hear your voice, I don't know why, but my legs shake.
Haha. Don't shoot the messenger, Lone. Quite the opposite. Given your current position, I should be the one to worry. Remember Innsmouth.
Not like I could ever forget it.
A joint operation between the government and the FBI is underway.
Already?
Things seem to have taken a turn that requires immediate action. You will be in charge of the operation.
Understood. I'll be there by this evening.
Lone,
What is it now?
I recommend you take the greatest care.
Okay, and then the events of the first game happens. Oh, Jesus. Damn, it's so loud. Options. Alright, that should be good enough. I can hear myself think. Okay, but so that was the end of Chronicle of Innsmouth, Mountains of Madness, and I must admit, folks, that ending came a bit suddenly. I did not expect this game to end right there, and to be honest, I didn't want the game to end right there, so once again, this game ends a bit too early, at least for me. Just like the last game, in my opinion, ended too early, but that's also because the game was so good that I just wanted more. Okay, so, well, for starters, I think it goes without saying that Chronicle of Innsmouth, Mountains of Madness does many things better than the last game, Chronicle of Innsmouth. It looks better and prettier, the pixel art is more, how should I say it, more detailed and professional than the last one. And I also like those 2D, almost cartoonish, not necessarily cartoonish, but what's the best way to describe it? Maybe comic book-like, I don't know, but I like those 2D drawn cutscenes as well. They were also a very nice addition to the game. And the voice acting as well, while not the most impressive or memorable performances I have ever heard in a video game, they were still a whole lot better than the ones in the last game. And I shall remind you that in the last game, Chronicle of Innsmouth, there was no voice acting at first. They added the voice acting there later. But in this case, they added voice acting right away, which I greatly appreciate, regardless how good or bad the voice acting is, because I think that having, say, bad voice acting is better than having no voice acting at all, in most cases anyway. But anyway, so voice acting better than the last games. And I also like how this game's story is not just a retelling of the original story At the Mountains of Madness, written by H.P. Lovecraft. So they gave the story its own spin to it, which I appreciate. However, I do think that they spent too little time in the actual Mountains of Madness. We spent like, what, 1/4 of the game in the Mountains of Madness. Personally, I believe that that's way too little. And I think they only scratched the surface of the true horror that At the Mountains of Madness story had. About the Elder Things and how the world came to be in reality. About the creation of Shoggoth and so on and so forth. They didn't really touch that much. They only really depicted that history in that one cave with the, well, not cave paintings, but you know what I mean, in that one cave. That's really the only place where they even hinted at that, but they didn't really go deep into it, which I think they should have done more, in my opinion. And another thing that I hope that they had done more with was H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hasret as well, because if you are like me, and you played the Kickstarter demo version of the game, and you played as Mr. H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hasret in the demo as well. If you played the Kickstarter demo, you already played all the content that there is to play as H.P. Lovecraft or Abdul al-Hasret. So basically, they did not add any new segments where you play as H.P. Lovecraft or Abdul al-Hasret in this game, which I found disappointing, to be brutally honest with you. I hope that they would have added more to the final game, but they didn't. I mean, maybe they had plans for it. Maybe they had more plans for H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hasret, but they didn't have enough funds for those. And if that's the case, then I understand that. That's just game development for you. Sometimes, or rather, in almost every single game project, you have to cut out something. You may have many cool things and ideas what you want to do with the game, but you also have to ship the game eventually. And you also have to consider the budget as well. That's just the reality. Sometimes you just have to cut some content from the game in order to get it finished in time. And also to not run out of budget, so I can understand that. But yeah, I still wish that they would have done more with H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hazred. I think it would have been really cool if we learned more about H.P. Lovecraft's daily life, what he was like as a person, what inspired him to write the various stories, like maybe in this case at the Mountains of Madness, what inspired him to do that, and so on and so forth. Not necessarily to turn this game into a character study of H.P. Lovecraft, but something along those lines would have been really interesting to see. So far my biggest criticisms that I can come up with right now is that the game is, again, too short. It's a bit longer than the last game. Let's see. It took me about 8 episodes to beat Chronicle of Innsmouth, so roughly 8 to 9 hours maybe. And this is the 12th episode. And considering all the footage that I had to edit out from some of my episodes, because the sessions were very long, especially at some of the toughest puzzles, I would say that it took me about 30, maybe 14 hours to beat this game. So, while this is considerably longer game, I think it could have been even longer. And I especially wanted to spend more time in the Mountains of Madness themselves, because I really wanted to learn more about the Elder Things, the Shoggoth, and how planet Earth and humanity itself came to be in reality. Because that's where the true horror lies in the At the Mountains of Madness story. And like I said, I wanted to spend more time with H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hazred. I wish that they had added more content of those two to the game. And as for the puzzles, I would say that this game was pretty challenging. Not the hardest puzzles that I've ever encountered in an adventure game, but they were not super easy either. Especially that one puzzle that I still like to refer to as the cocktail puzzle. The one where we had to mix the right mushroom concoction for Akeley to wake him up. And then also the puzzle at the church with the cross and stuff. Those two were the most challenging ones. And I did like them. Sure, I got a bit frustrated at times with them, and I even took out a walkthrough for the ladder puzzle. But they were fine. They were fine. And hey, it's always possible that I'm just slow when it comes to puzzles like that. I always tend to think that the solution is more complicated than it really is. So that's my problem. As far as difficulty goes, if I had to compare this game to another Cthulhu game, like Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure, whose developers, by the way, the Stuck in Attic, I saw their name in the credits of this game, so Stuck in Attic also backed this game, which I'm very glad to see. I mean, Lovecraftian Cthulhu game developers must stick together, right? And help each other out when they can. And my name was there as well, of course, because I'm also one of the Kickstarter backers. I should get the signed box edition of this game at some point in the future. Let's hope that they actually remember to sign the actual box, because I actually decided to upgrade my pledge after the Kickstarter campaign had ended, and they said it was okay. I paid the extra required, so let's hope that they actually remember that, hey, this guy upgraded his pledge, so let's sign his box and add all the other things that he's entitled to. But yeah, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so compared to Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure, this game is harder than Gibbous, in my opinion, but only slightly, really. I mean, there were 2 very tricky puzzles in Gibbous, well, for me anyway, but the rest of the puzzles were very easy and simple in comparison to Chronicle of Innsmouth, Mountains of Madness. The puzzles overall were good, logical. I don't really have any complaints regarding those, at least not right now. I guess if the game was longer, we could have had more puzzles where we needed to use a tentacle arm. And that would have been nice as well, I suppose, but other than that, I can't really come up with any complaints regarding the puzzles. Is there anything else that I want to mention? Oh yeah, the music, briefly. At first I honestly didn't pay much attention to the music, because for the most part it was an ambient kind of music that's in the background, but you don't really pay much attention to. But then when we got to the actual Mountains of Madness in the caves, that's when the music became really, really good. It was spooky, eerie, chilling, mysterious, I suppose, and it was really fitting for cosmic horror. So I really, really liked that. Another reason why I wanted to spend more time at the Mountains of Madness, because of the music. And also the song that we just heard during the end credits, that was also great. Not necessarily the most fitting type of music that I would select for a Cthulhu themed game, but hey, it was a great song, so who cares? I mean, even in the film In the Mouth of Madness, directed by, was it John Carpenter? I think was the director there. But anyway, even in that film, the intro song, the theme song of the film, is also very rock and roll like song, and it's really good. Again, maybe not the most fitting type of song, but it was still so good that I didn't really care, and the song at the end credits here was the same thing. Okay, so I covered the graphics that again look much better than the last games. The pixel art is much more detailed and just prettier looking. The voice acting, which I think is also better and more professional than the last games. And the story overall is intriguing and it's good, but I just wish that we had spent more time in the actual Mountains of Madness, and that there were more segments where we play as H.P. Lovecraft and Abdul al-Hasret. I wish that there were more segments like those. The puzzles were good and logical and not too easy, and especially those two puzzles that I struggled with, the one at the church and the mushroom concoction puzzle at Akeley's house. And the music at the Mountains of Madness was great, and the song at the end credits that we just heard. And I also liked the 2D comic book cartoony like cutscenes as well. They were also a very nice addition. The game overall could have been longer, all things considered. But in conclusion, I would say that Chronicle of Innsmouth Mountains of Madness is a very, very good Lovecraftian Cthulhu-themed adventure game, and it's a great improvement from the last game. And I can't wait to see what Psychodev is going to do next. Or at least I hope that they are going to make more adventure games themed around H.P. Lovecraft and Cthulhu mythos in general. I would really, really love them to continue doing that and improve their craft overall. So far I don't know what their future plans are. I mean, this game came out like over a month ago, maybe 1.5 months ago, so it may take some time before they announce their next game project. I'm glad that I backed this game on Kickstarter and even upgraded my pledge later on. And I would definitely back their next Lovecraftian/Cthulhu Mythos themed adventure game project on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whichever platform they decide to use next time. And yes, I will make a my thoughts on video of this game later on in the future, but that might take some time because there's at least 2 other games that I want to make a my thoughts on video of first. But I will try to make a my thoughts on video of this game later on this summer. Right now I have got some stuff to do and study in real life for certain exams, so I'm focusing on those for the most part. But I will do it. I will do a my thoughts on video of this game. Well, I've been talking for quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if this post-end credit speech of mine ends up being longer than the actual gameplay segment of this episode. But yeah, I'm gonna stop babbling here and end this Let's Play here. So, thank you for watching my blind Let's Play of Chronicle of Innsmouth, Mountains of Madness, and see you next time in a new adventure.